Elon Musk, the richest person in the world with companies that are not profitable yet. Elon Musk is one of the most recognizable faces in the world today. And more than that, he is the richest man in the world currently, after the share prices of Tesla experienced a dramatic upswing.
Having the glass like this is actually quite hard because it's so slow.
Elon's net worth overtook that of Jeff Bezos as he crossed the $185 billion threshold. Now, after upstaging Amazon's Bezos, who had held on to the Richest top spot since 2017, analysts are predicting even more financial windfalls for Elon Musk. And why is that? Simply because Mr. Musk owns so many companies that are not yet profitable but have the potential to be game changers across multiple industries.
The more that we can increase the scope and scale of human consciousness.
This larger-than-life entrepreneur thinks ahead of his time and sets up companies that are designed to solve problems that the rest of the world do not even consider to be problems just yet. In this video, we take a look at some of the upcoming companies that are going to disrupt industries they operate within and earn him even more billions in the coming years. The automotive industry. From all indications, Tesla thrived during the height of the COVID crisis, and we don't have to look further than the growth of Tesla share prices if it is proof that we want. Tesla remained profitable by avoiding waste and factory shutdowns. While many mega factories were shutting down their factories, Tesla unveiled plans to open 2 new factories in Germany and Texas. During this same period, the company's share prices quadrupled in value, earning Mr. Musk a place in the top 3 rich list for the first time. Founded in 2003 as Mr. Musk's second project after PayPal, his vision of self-driving cars is beginning to take shape. His self-driving designs have taken the world by storm, and the potential of these vehicles is what is driving Tesla's share prices through the roof as car owners marvel at the possibility of getting work without holding their steerings and even renting their car out when they're not using it.
Oh my God!
Although Elon has made a lot of money as a profit from Tesla trucks, it is the self-driving car concept that has the true growth potential. If you think Mr. Musk has made a fortune already from Tesla, then you've seen nothing yet. These cars are going to land much more bucks. But it has not been plain sailing all through. The concept proved attractive for short sellers of stocks who went on to dump their shares after they increased in value. This trend eventually affected other short sellers who predicted that the share prices will drop. This did not happen. Rather, the price went higher, even more leading to a loss of $20 billion of their investment, while Tesla's value remained untouchable. Why are investors betting on electric self-driving vehicles? The trend is there for everyone to see. In Britain and France, for instance, both countries have placed a ban on the sales of diesel cars by 2040. China has brought their date forward by issuing legislation guidelines to encourage their use of cars that run on alternative energy sources by as much as 20% by 2025. Even General Motors already have 20 different electric car models in the pipeline, some of which are self-driving cars. As you can see, the auto landscape is changing rapidly, and Elon has positioned himself and Tesla at the head of the queue as far as these smart vehicles are concerned. The aerospace industry. The search for life on Mars has long been a mission for world governments and mega conglomerates. With man having explored significant portions of the Earth already, attention is beginning to turn to life in other solar planes. Not to be left behind, Elon Musk launched his space company, SpaceX, in 2002, at a time when only very few private companies saw the value of space travel. On the company's website, he says, and I quote, "You want to wake up in the morning and think the future is going to be great, and that's what being a spacefaring civilization is all about." Per a Musk quote on the SpaceX website, "It's about believing in the future and thinking that the future will be better than the past. And I can't think of anything more exciting than going out there and being among the stars." Only recently, SpaceX sent 2 NASA astronauts to the International Space Station and back. Since NASA ended their shuttle program in 2011, this feat was never repeated until SpaceX came along. The exorbitant cost of space shuttles was one of the excuses behind NASA's curbing of their shuttle flights. In fact, the agency spent more money than initially planned, which led to cost-cutting measures. In came SpaceX to offer the agency a cheaper alternative. With the use of reusable rockets, SpaceX can provide cheaper shuttle flights to NASA at half the price. The company is also working on a Mars project as SpaceX engineers improve the quality of their rockets so as to make such a trip not only possible but economical. The game changer for the company is its ability to refuel its space jets while in orbit using methalox, which is a combination of oxygen and methane. Their engineers are also working on a plan to collect carbon dioxide from the atmosphere on Mars, as well as the mining of water from the planet's surface. Both materials will be used to produce the fuel necessary to launch the jets back into the Earth on a return trip. Although SpaceX is not raking in profits yet, the potential it has is clear for all to see. Any companies that can provide fast and safe trips to and from any of the solar planets stand to make a lot of money in the not-too-distant future. The telecommunications industry. Not one to rest on his oars, Elon Musk has taken a keen interest in telecommunication. If recent reports hold true, SpaceX will most likely revolutionize how we communicate with each other. Currently, the satellite internet industry is worth a humongous $1 trillion, and SpaceX is interested in tapping as much market share as it possibly can by providing cheap and effective online access to the most rural and remotest regions on Earth. The company set up to pursue this dream is Starlink, a subsidiary of SpaceX. Starlink is one of Elon Musk's ambitious projects worth $10 billion. The mission of the company is to provide high-speed internet to consumers wherever they may be. The driving idea behind Starlink is to provide online access to areas that terrestrial networks have failed to reach. In an interview, while commenting on the potential of Starlink, the Tesla CEO said, "I want to make it clear, it's not like Starlink is some huge threat to telcos. In fact, it will be helpful to telcos because Starlink will serve the hardest to serve customers that telcos otherwise have trouble dealing with." The model on which most telecom operators run their business is Teledzig, a satellite design introduced in the 90s. This model is a conglomeration of satellites connected together to provide internet broadband. The high cost of building, connecting, and running so many satellites at once comes at a cost that most firms can't afford. Other models, such as Iridium, OneWeb, and Globalstar, are equally expensive. True to his modus operandus, Mr. Musk identifies problems and seeks out cheaper ways to solve them at no extra cost to the consumer.
So OpenAI has a very high sense of urgency, and I think that the people...
With Starlink's revolutionary approach, the cost of launching a satellite might be brought down to a fraction of what it costs today. The efficiency of their connections will also be a game changer. While modem satellites offer an internet speed of 25 megabits per second at the most, Mr. Musk's technology is targeting a speed of 1 gigabyte per second. For an industry that has remained stagnant for years, Mr. Musk is infusing new momentum brought on by new innovation and cutting-edge technology. The energy industry. The dependence on fossil fuels has wrecked our planet and left it worse off. Greenhouse emissions has disrupted global temperature in the last 3 decades than what was witnessed in the last 2 centuries. Alongside other innovators, Mr. Musk has also been keen to provide the world with alternative power sources. During a discussion with his cousins, Lyndon and Peter Reeve in 2004, Elon suggested a concept which then became Solar City.
It needs to happen to solar. We really need to make solar panels as appealing.
Solar City marks the entrepreneur's first attempt to make solar panels ubiquitous in every town and city. Although his first foray into solar panel development didn't succeed, however, the lessons learned by him and his team was worth it. By understanding how renewable energy works, they eventually grew their capacity, and today, Solar City is one of the largest supplier of residential solar energy in the US. After experiencing some financial setbacks, Elon's Tesla decided to take full ownership of the company by paying off existing shareholders roughly $2.6 billion. Coal production began to experience a significant drop in the 90s as nuclear energy began to emerge as a more viable alternative in the early 2000s. As we approached the end of the first decade of the new millennium, many nuclear reactors were reaching the end of their life cycle, and many of them had to be serviced, remodeled, or put out of action. Because of the cost of running these plants and reactors, an alternative source was needed, and solar power offered cheaper and renewable energy. Over the last decade, the price of solar power has witnessed a steady drop. In 1977, for instance, it cost $76 per kilowatt, but today it costs less than $1 per kilowatt. Solar City became an industry leader in 2013 by introducing residential solar systems that were reliable with the cost of installing a solar roof ranging between $30,000 to $50,000.
Solar roofs that look better than a normal roof.
To make the technology even more accessible to homeowners, the company introduced a leasing strategy that allowed homeowners to get the roofs for free but to pay for the installation over a period of time. This move worked wonders for the company, and in under a year, GTM research data showed that the company's installations rose by 72%. After taking full control of SolarCity in 2016, Tesla has injected fresh funds into the company. Before then, Tesla was already working on Powerwall batteries for homes. These batteries are connected to solar generators for an uninterrupted power supply. With the coming together of both companies, their solar technology has gotten even better. Tesla has even abandoned their initial design for a more advanced solar system, not just a wall battery. If SolarCity continues to improve its technology, we just might see a cheaper solar power system that costs under $10,000. If this happens, then maybe the time to kiss nuclear energy and fossilized fuel goodbye will only be a few years away. Leave your thoughts in the comments, don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.